Running on Air by eleventy7, Chapter 16, Part 2. Half an hour later, they're slowly walking back to the Renault together. Harry can feel his pulse slowing, like a car engine cooling, and his breath becoming slow and even again. "You're quicker than you look," he tells Draco. "You're not." Harry shoves at Draco, making him stumble slightly. Draco just regains his balance and smiles at him. No, not smiles, Harry thinks, watching the faint curve of Draco's lip. He smirks. Harry hadn't realized how much he missed that smirk. They reach the car and Harry takes the passenger side, Draco the driver's side. The engine thrums to life, the tires crunch over the gravel. Harry looks in the side mirror, watching the fields fade into darkness. He wonders where they're going. He was supposed to be navigating, but he fell asleep somewhere in Devon, and Draco's clearly got a destination in mind. Harry glances at his watch. 8 o'clock. Surely they'll stop for the night soon. But on and on they go. Fields and trees flashed past. Stars reflected in rivers, and every now and again they pass through a small village, a little collection of lights. They're in the heart of nowhere, Harry thinks, leaning his forehead against the cool glass of the window. They pass through another village, and Harry sees a playground for a fleeting moment. Swings swaying slightly in the warm summer night, the chains creaking, and he wonders if this is the same place he parked the Renault so many months ago, when Draco gave him memories. Harry smiles, thinking that Draco gave him more memories tonight. There was no Legolimens spell, no Pensieve, but Draco gave him memories, regardless. And on they go. Draco asks Harry to take over the driving. "I'm going to have a nap," he announces as they switch seats. "I don't even know where we're going," Harry argues, and Draco picks up the road atlas. "You know how to get to Birmingham?" "Not from here, no. What, Birmingham? We're going there?" Harry asks blankly. "That's ages away." "Oh, is this what happens when I try to do something nice for you?" Draco says. "Now get onto the M40 and stay on it until you reach Hockley Heath. Then take the M6. Wait, why are we going to Birmingham? Wake me up when we're there." Harry pulls a face at Draco, but it's fruitless. Draco has already closed his eyes. Harry sighs and lifts the handbrake. There is something soothing about driving at night, he thinks. The road unwinds before him, the headlights fading away into the darkness ahead. Draco sleeps beside him, forehead resting against the window, his breath deep and even. He sleeps better now, Harry thinks. The tension isn't lining his face now, like it did back in Landudneck. A lone car appears in the distance, and Harry watches the headlights rush past. His watch beeps. 9 o'clock, and he notices the fuel gauge is nearing reserve. He pulls into the next petrol station, and Draco wakes momentarily. "Oh, there yet?" he murmurs, voice thick with sleep. "No." Draco goes back to sleep. Harry drives on and on until the dotted lights of the country towns and parishes have given way to the city lights of Birmingham. Pulls over at the outskirts of the city and hesitates to wake Draco. After a moment, he touches a hand to Draco's shoulder. "Draco, we're here." He stirs, opening his eyes slowly, his gaze immediately locking onto Harry. He smiles then, and Harry would give anything to capture this unguarded smile forever. Then he seems to wake properly. "I'll drive again. I thought this was our destination." "Birmingham? What sort of sadist do you think I am?" Harry laughs and opens the car door, swapping seats once more with Draco. "Want me to navigate?" "No, you can just sleep." "What if I'm not tired?" Harry asks. "Then you can reflect on the poor decisions you've made throughout your life." "Is that what you do?" "Go to sleep," Draco repeats. Harry thinks he won't, just to spite Draco, but despite his best efforts he falls asleep somewhere west of Shrewsbury. When Harry wakes next, it's dark. Completely dark. Even when they were driving through the countryside of Wiltshire, it wasn't dark like this. Not a single light, not even the distant glow of a house. The car door opens. "Harry?" He looks up. Draco stands there, holding out a hand. Harry pauses for a moment, then accepts it. He stands and steps away from the car, following Draco. They're standing in the middle of the sky. He thinks for a moment, his heart missing a beat. For a moment he feels dizzy. Stars below and above, and any moment Draco will step into the air, lead Harry to the constellations, to the fine dust and scar-scattered clouds of the night. He reflexively grips Draco's hand tightly for a moment, as if he's afraid that he will fall if he lets go. Draco looks over his shoulder and smiles. Harry takes another tentative step forward, so they're standing beside each other, and in that moment he realizes the stars above are merrily mirrored in the still waters of a vast lake. Mountains rise each side of the lake, like cresting waves, and even now in the height of summer, you can see the pale glow of snow on the uppermost peaks. For a moment Harry thinks he's standing on the edge of the world, that crisp, clear darkness that rolls on forever until sky and land become one. The forests, the valleys, the thin crescent moon that seems to balance on his heart. "Where are we?" Harry asks at last. "Snowdonia." It sounds like a name that belongs in a story, Harry thinks. Some fairy tale realm or a kingdom in a faraway world. Harry gazes into the lake, watching the stars glimmer across its surface. Shooting star briefly flashes across the sky, leaving a fading trail of light. "I've been here before," Draco says suddenly, "when I was in the past." Harry's heart misses another beat. He holds his breath for a long moment. Draco hasn't spoken of his time in the past, not once, and Harry never asked. Much like his friends never asked about the war. Things like that, memories like that, should be given away like careful presents, and only to those who never demand them. Harry realizes he's still holding Draco's hand, but he doesn't let go. He doesn't dare to, for the fear it will somehow make Draco silent again. "Hogwarts?" Draco says after a long moment, his gaze still up on the vast and distant mountains, his eyes narrowed slightly in memory. "That's where I ended up. I don't know where my father had intended to go, but that's where I went. Hogwarts." He pauses. 1965. The year my father started attending. 3 years, Harry thinks. 3 long years. I didn't realize I'd been splinched. Not at first. I thought I was dead, a ghost, because nobody could see or hear me. I couldn't touch anything. But then I kept getting what I thought were visions, strange overlaps, where I'd see 2 scenes at once. And I realized I was seeing both past and present. Draco falls silent for a long time, staring out across the forests and valleys. It started driving me insane. It was like 2 different people talking inside my head. So I left. I wanted to find a place where nothing changed. Draco gestures his hand, sweeping over the view. This was the closest I got. They stand in silence for a long time, standing together, stars reflected above and below, and Harry feels like he's running on air. Later on, when they're leaving, Harry driving, Draco poring over the road atlas, Harry thanks him. For what? Draco looks genuinely puzzled. For taking me to Snowdonia, of course. Oh, Draco turns a page. Well, you said your muggle relatives never took you places. Maybe we'll go back in winter, when you can see proper snow. Harry's breath catches for a second. He stares at Draco, then remembers he's still driving and looks quickly at the road again. Maybe we'll go back. The headlights cut through the dark night, the road lined with ancient Welsh oaks, their branches arching over the sky. I've never been to a national park before, Harry says, wondering how old these trees were. He heard once that oak trees could live for 2,000 years. I bet there aren't any as good as Snowdonia, though. Draco straightens up, eyes suddenly bright with interest. Brecon Beacons, you'd really like that. It's in South Wales. The stars are always perfectly clear. It's a designated international dark sky reserve. Or if you prefer mountains, we'd go to Cairngorms, where the mountains have been sculpted by Ice Age glaciers. Or if you prefer rivers and waterfalls, there's the Peak District. Of course, if you want rugged cliffs and sea arches, there's Pembrokeshire Coast. Draco pauses to give Harry a calculative look. But I think you like the stars. Harry wonders what Draco prefers. The sweeping night sky, or the roaring ocean, or the vast and ancient mountains. The beast of stone that will stand here long after the last sign of humanity has faded from Earth. I wanted to find a place where nothing changed. Draco would like the mountains best, Harry thinks. Am I right? Harry glances at Draco. What? Am I right? Draco repeats. You prefer the stars. I like the stars, Harry affirms. Draco smiles, a small and satisfied smile at his correct guess. Harry wonders if he might have seen Draco's constellation tonight. The polar stars shining bright over the mountains and valleys.